0992.
And welcome in to Picks and Parlays Radio on this Friday, September 20th. Happy Friday to everyone who took the Jags and the under and Tulane last night. It was a wild night of football. We want to welcome you in to today's show. I'm your host, Chelsa Messinger. You can find me every day on Twitter. My handle is just my name, at Chelsa Messinger. And also check us out on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you search Picks and Parlays, we're usually the first thing that pops up. Really easy to find, and we also stream the show live every weekday, 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern. We've got plenty to get to. Full docket today. We're talking baseball, we're talking football, we're talking NFL and college football because we've got a big weekend ahead. First off, we're talking baseball. Got a couple games with Sean Higgs and the upcoming Monday night football game, Bears and Redskins, where the Bears are favored by 4 in that one. Then next up, we've got college football with Chip Chirimbus, FIU, La Tech, Nebraska, Illinois, and South Carolina, Mizzou, a big SEC East matchup where Will Muschamp has never lost to South Carolina. Mizzou. So we'll see if Mizzou can finally get their number. It should be interesting to see Kelly Bryant facing off with South Carolina. The Clemson transfer is used to dominating South Carolina, but he won't have the talent around him, this time at Mizzou. Then finally, we've got NFL Rapid Fire, where we go over a ton of NFL games in rapid fire since. So we get in a lot of picks in a short amount of time with some great analysis from Tony T and Craig Trapp. Circling back to last night, I'm not going to lie, the Titans just keep breaking my heart. They had just such a great week. The opening week, beating the Browns. And then last night, don't even get me started. Yes, the other day we talked about if we'd rather have Gardner Minshew or Marcus Mariota as our starting quarterback. And we were kind of joking, but after last night, it's a serious discussion. So I'll try not to be too salty today on today's show. We've got a great show lined up for you guys. We'll be back after the break with some baseball and Monday Night Football.
Now's the time to travel and be with the people you care about the most. And at Holiday Inn and Holiday Inn Express, we're helping you be there for less. Save at least 25% at thousands of hotels worldwide if you book by September 24th. You won't want this moment to pass you by. So book today at holidayinn.com. Terms and conditions apply.
It's O'Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts, where you can earn bonus points on more than 250 offers. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store today or browse through our offers at O'ReillyAuto.com, where you can earn double points shopping online. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, travelers. Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip, or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
Are you an active stock market investor? Well, then you know these three key words: buy, sell, hold. Those three magic words can make or lose you money in the stock market. What if we can show you a time-tested tool that's been helping stock market investors succeed for over 30 years? It's called VectorVest, an amazing system designed to make smart investing easy. The VectorVest system analyzes, sorts, and ranks over 19,000 stocks every day and tells you when to buy, what to buy, and when to sell any stock to maximize your profits in less than 10 minutes a day. And if you call right now, you can test drive our amazing VectorVest system risk-free for 30 days for just $9.95.
800-584-2519. 800-584-2519. 800-584-2519. That's 800-584-2519.
Okay. And welcome back to Picks and Parlays Radio here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network, and also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you search Picks and Parlays, we're really easy to find, usually the first thing that pops up. I'm your host, Chelsa Messinger. Right now, joining us is Sean Higgs, who is not at the Area 51 meetup. We want to thank you for joining us today.
It was like, raid Area 51 or come on a Friday Picks and Parlay show. So here I am.
Well, at least you're not having to dodge bullets here.
What? No, wait. I could dodge bullets if I do what? The Nanu run? What is that called?
Naruto run.
The Nehru?
Which,
I don't know what it is.
I don't know why that's their theory, because we had this discussion in the office earlier. Naruto is, I think it's anime. It's not reality. It's a fiction show. So I don't know what these people are talking.
I'm a big cat. You know, we don't run from people, so I'm not running anywhere. I'm just walking in.
Oh, no.
With like my Negan bat.
Oh, man.
For your little alien friends.
Yeah, I know. And everybody was talking about what they're going to do with their aliens. Going to dress them up and take them to the club.
Are the I saw furries are there. There's a lot of wackos out there. The flat earthers there too. How does that work with the flat earthers freeing aliens?
Flat earthers are in this now? I didn't know they joined the chat. Flat earthers have now joined the chat.
It would add to it.
I know. How many conspiracy theorists can you put in one room? That would be an interesting room to be in. But yeah, we've gotten way off track.
Next Monday's show.
As you can see, we're all business here. All right, Sean, let's talk a little baseball
I bring
first.
it all to the table.
Let's start off with the Blue Jays and the Yankees. The Blue Jays dogs in this one, plus 155. Jacob Waguespack taking the mound from Blue Jays, 4-5, 4.70 ERA, and as of late, he has struggled. 8.70 ERA in his last 4 starts. The Yankees are sending J.A. Happ to the mound, 12-8 with a 5.07 ERA. He is 2-1 with a 3.46 ERA in his last 5 starts, despite battling some tendonitis in his left bicep. What are your initial leanings on this one, Sean?
Well, one, good job pronouncing this guy's name, because I was like Wagyu Spack. I thought it was some kind of Japanese beef. Wagyu.
Waguespack. You're thinking of Wagyu beef.
Yeah, it's an offshoot of Kobe. Whatever. Listen, in this spot, Happ's not having a good year. He's got a 5+ ERA at home, 292 batting average against. We add in the fact the Yanks just clinched the division. They're taking a night off. I mean, I get it. They're on home field. But in all honesty here, the Yanks are in trouble. They just lost their best pitcher. Jermaine's gone. Who's stepping up for this team in the postseason? Great. They're going to make it to the playoffs, but it's going to be a short run for them, I think. But back to this game.
I was going to say, let's talk about today, though.
They're playing with house money. I'm getting 155 from a crummy pitcher from a team that's like every other team after they win. They're out throwing champagne on our face last night. You think they're really motivated to come in here today?
Yeah, that's very true.
You're going to get a patched together lineup, and that's it. Give me the young guys on across the field who are excited to be playing baseball and getting called up. And listen, they got some good young players on Toronto. So, 155, again, I'd be taking 155 against Happ just because he's hit or miss the entire season. Why wouldn't he be hit or miss tonight when he's been bad at home? So
Right.
155, let's take Toronto.
I'd like to see the stats on teams, how many teams win the night after their champagne celebration in the locker room.
I'm gonna say I think the Dodgers just lost last week when
Did they?
after they clinched.
Well, I mean, it's hard to be motivated when you know it's all gravy and you've got it
Come
all
on, they're in
locked
there.
up.
They're throwing champagne at their heads at midnight. I'm sure they don't go out in the city at all after that. for
Right, no,
a
I'm
meal or
sure
some
they're in bed watching
fun.
Netflix.
That's it. Watching
But
Stranger Things.
as you mentioned, the Blue Jays do have some hot young hitters. They strike out a
Yeah.
lot, but they do have some guys that are going to be probably stars in a few years. Vladdy Jr., Kevon Biggio. So, I mean, they've got some hitters.
Listen, Hap gets hit. The guy's got an almost 300 average against him at home. I mean, that's young guys. They're going to come out swinging anyway. So you're going to tell me you're not going to put the ball in play? And his total sitting at 9.5 too, which is, I think, a bit odd because if the Yanks play, then everybody's going to come in there and they're bringing their own number. So it's just a bizarre line all around. So I don't know. I like Toronto regardless, whoever the Yanks tried out there, because I think Hap's terrible. That's
All
number
right.
one.
Well, let's move on to the Red Sox and the Rays. The Rays are big favorites in this one, minus 185. The total sits at 8.5. The Red Sox have all but packed it in for the season. It seems like they've already fired their GM, who won them a World Series, just last year. Tonight it's Rick Porcello on the mound, 13-12 with a 5.77 ERA. A tough year for the former Cy Young winner, Charlie Morton, on the mound for the Rays, who's been really good at home. A 2.74 ERA, 7-3, and overall 15-6 with a 3.16 ERA and 223 strikeouts. So I'm assuming that's why the Rays are big favorites in this one.
Yeah. I mean, his numbers are great. 223 strikeouts. You know, everybody talks about Colin Verlander, but Morton quietly, he started out a little rough, but man, putting together 15 wins, a 3.16 ERA, excellent numbers. And obviously, like the Red Sox, you can their GM, and then you trot out Porcello, who's having a miserable year. I think he apologized to the team for being so bad. 5.77 ERA in a year, 6.62 last 7, 5.81, 11 road starts. Again, over a 300 average against him. 8.5 is a total here. Tampa might get this by the third inning by themselves. I mean, the Red Sox got some hitters, and maybe they score a run or two, but I really think the only thing that really I don't like about it is Tampa's coming back from like the West Coast. So, you know, you come back, you're taking care of business at home, and you get back in the flow of things. Maybe they're a little sluggish, but Porcello's just been bad all year. I don't see how Tampa's not scoring 5 by themselves here just off him before they get to that crappy Boston bullpen. So I'm going to go over the 8.5. I can't lay. There's so many huge numbers, 180s, 300s, 400s this time of year, and even the run lines are up to 180. So I'm going to go over the 8.5 here in Tampa.
Well, you mentioned a little bit of travel. The Rays are coming back from the West Coast playing the Dodgers, which they did win, 8-7 on Wednesday. They did have a day off to get back to the East Coast because it is a 3-hour time difference. At least they have a day off, I suppose. But, yeah, the Rays are still playing for something. They're still playing for that wild card, too.
Yeah. So, exactly. So, as much as you got to get back into routine with your family, you got to get back on that field. And, listen, how good are the Rays? Every year, they're just
good
in
every
it all
year.
the time.
That's what I was about to say.
It's crazy. I don't even know who this guy Meadows is. He's got 30-something homers. I'm like, who told me at the beginning of the year that this guy's going to have 32 homers?
He was in one of those trades, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Austin Meadows. Was it the Chris Archer trade?
Their scouting is unbelievable. They're scouting their front office to get these guys.
Right. They have a lot of really good homegrown talent.
Yeah, but I mean, they pluck it from somebody else too. It's amazing.
Right. I think they definitely won that Chris Archer
I wish they had money,
trade.
and I wish they were in a market that actually supported them, because they would be giving your Houstons and Yankees and Dodgers a run for their money for sure, man. Because they put a good team out there at bare minimums.
Right. All right. Well, let's move on to this Monday Night Football game
Yes.
on Monday. Bears, Redskins. Bears are favoring this one, -4. Total sits at 41. The Bears are 1-1 with a win over the Broncos, a loss to the Packers. 2 very low-scoring games. The Bears have only scored 19 points in their past 2 games. Redskins are 0-2. But I think they have covered in some of these games. It depends on the line you've taken. A loss to the Eagles, 32-27, and a loss to the Cowboys, 31-21. Initial leadings on this one.
Yeah, Skins, I like them here as a home dog. I mean, I think I look at this. The Bears. I'm not a big Bear supporter. Great year last year. I think they're going to take a step back. I've been against them the first 2 weeks. This game, I'm looking at the under a lot here. 41. It just seems a lot because the Bears defense, it travels. We saw it in Denver. We saw it opening day against Green Bay. So the defense is still solid. The offense is horrendous. I mean, talk about wasting a defense. Trubisky's actually looks like he's taking a step backwards. The Redskin defense, I don't think it's that terrible. I mean, they had a good first half against the Eagles.
We're running out of time. What's your pick?
Run out of time. We're going to go under the 41 here. Well, we got to talk about, you got to bring up Area 51. You love Area 51.
I'm so sorry.
But we'll go under the 41.
All right, that's our Monday Night Football pick and baseball talk from Sean Higgs. We're back after the break with more Picks and Parlays Radio.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them, but do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
Not too long ago, it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed
to 5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables, not your credit. And 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
Welcome back to Picks and Parlays Radio here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I am your host, Chelsa Messinger. I'm joined by Chip Chirimbus, and we do have some breaking news.
Yeah, we certainly do.
Yeah, Antonio Brown has been cut by the Patriots.
And I'm not surprised, are you?
I was going to say, I thought they were going to at least suspend him or something.
Belichick had a press conference today. And
which he walked out of.
Which he walked out of, and I guess before the time was out, I guess Brown was gone, which I don't know who's going to pick him up or what his future holds. I think he's got, we said, more than emotional problems. I think
it's a mental problem.
His narcissism is beyond the cope.
Repair.
Yeah.
It's hard with those diva players because they bring so much on the field. And that's the issue. It's like, where do you draw the line? Where do you cut it off? How much do you put up with when you deal with some of these players? Because he makes some great catches.
Absolutely. And, but say that with Beckham in New York, they really felt he was a big distraction, and other players weren't able to concentrate. They were breaking their routine, trying to look what this look at this clown is doing, was the quote that many of them made. And so sometimes it's addition by subtraction, although a great talent is now been cut. He's out. He's not with the Patriots anymore.
I know, even though I don't feel bad for the Patriots. They've got plenty of talent. Let's move on to some of these college games as advertised. Let's start with Florida International, Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech is favored in this one, -6.5. Total sits at 51.5.
Well, it's not a highlight game, that's for sure, particularly on this Friday night. We promoted during the week that we would have Utah and Southern Cal as our play on picks and parlays, and it is up right now. We've hit 6 of the last 7 college football releases, including last night's easy win with Tulane. And this,
it's so easy,
Chelsea,
right? It only
never in doubt. I woke up this morning, I saw the final score, and that was it. But Louisiana Tech is 2-1 on the year, and they're the name team here. They're the Bulldogs against Florida International. Though, Chelsea, I said they've got a pretty big name coach at Florida International.
We were talking about this before the show. Butch Davis is at FIU. If you remember, he was at Miami. He was at North Carolina, and I think he worked for the Cowboys as well, or maybe it was the Bears.
Well, regardless, he's got this team where they're playing against they're a weak team. There's no question about it.
Right, talent-wise.
Talent-wise, and they're playing up to their competition. They're 5-0 against teams with winning records against the points. And they're also 6-1 against the points in their last 7 on the road. The problem is Louisiana Tech is a much better football team here. Though they are 0-5, these two trends actually mesh together. They're 0-5 at home against teams with losing records. So you would think that I instinctively would take Florida International as a team that covers on the road. But I'm not going to do it. And the reason is James Morgan, and that's a quarterback for Florida International. This is a team averaging barely 100 yards a game on the ground, and their quarterback is completing less than 50% of his passes. And Chelsea, 50% of your pass completions nowadays is just not going to work.
Right.
And there's a new game. It's a total
it's not
dimension.
Great.
No, so I don't think the Panthers. I don't think Florida International has a shot here. I'm going to go with the Bulldogs. Louisiana Tech is my side.
Yeah, unless you're playing for Army or a triple option team, 50% of your passes, not great.
Well, they're only throwing 2 passes a game anyway.
Exactly,
so
that's what I'm saying.
And it's 1 completion for 72 yards usually when they do it.
Well, because it usually throws them off if they can complete it. But as we saw in that Michigan game, man, that quarterback, it's such an easy throw, and they couldn't make it because they never practiced it.
Right, and defensively you get lulled in where, you just time after time they say, beware the pass, beware the option, beware the pass. And mentally, you just can't adjust to it because when they've run the ball 67 out of 70 times, it's just a mindset.
Right. All right, let's move on to Nebraska, Illinois. Nebraska favored in this one by 2 touchdowns or almost 2 touchdowns, -13.5. Total sits at 62. This is a night game. It's at Illinois, which I'm not going to say is a home field advantage. They have trouble getting a crowd at their games. They do have Lovie Smith. We talked about good coaching and how that can change a game. Who are you liking in this one?
Well, good coaching. We're talking about the premier game Saturday night. Scott Frost is going to be on the sidelines for Nebraska. But since he's been there, this Nebraska defense has really been very porous. Of course, they still had that same power Nebraska offense, and they're even throwing the ball a little bit more, Chelsea. But Illinois opened the season with a big win. They sleptwalked their way through a victory over Connecticut last week. I think the way to go here without having to deal with 2-touchdown favorite with a team at home is the total. And Illinois is going 8-1 over the total after a straight-up loss. So that's a pretty big factor. They're 6-1 to the over on the field turf here. They're averaging 408 yards a game offensively, Chelsea. And Nebraska, of course, is averaging like 423. But they have a great number for you as well, is that 7 of their last 8 road games have gone over the total. So Nebraska and Illinois, I see this being a high-scoring affair. I think there's going to be a lot of points up there. A little side note on this is Nebraska as a franchise, as a unit.
Well, they are a franchise. They probably make a lot of money. They
certainly
just don't pay the players.
They certainly have a brand of their own, but they have 899 wins for the school history. So they'll be looking to get their 900th win here, and I think there's only 3 schools ahead of them. And we're going to have to see. But this is a 14-point favorite. I don't like playing those type of favorites for the most part.
Right, that's a big spread.
I think the way to go here, that number 62 may be very imposing, but there's a reason it's 62. I think the winner's going to score at least 40 in this game.
And also something of note, I think Nebraska has Ohio State coming up.
There's something for that. Maybe point spread wise, you would think about Illinois, about taking a point,
Right.
maybe a backdoor cover of some sort. Because these kids, and in the pros, we've seen it happen a number of times where at halftime they'll have secure leads and then their minds will start to wander
Right.
and they'll start thinking about
And
next
they put
week.
in the second stringers.
Right, and they start looking ahead, and sometimes they get caught against the points and even outright that often.
Even though I don't think Nebraska can look past people after losing to Colorado, which I had money on that game, so.
Well, if you remember, I promoted Colorado as my best bet that week, and you shouldn't be going against me, Chelsa, in those promo games.
It took Colorado having, I think, a 30-year-old kicker making the game winner. I'm not sure how the eligibility works there.
But he was eligible grade-wise. He went to class, and he went there. That's more than half the football players in the NCAA.
Well, that's college football for you. Sometimes you can't predict the endings. All right, let's move on to South Carolina at Missouri. This is a big SEC East matchup. Will Muschamp has never lost to Missouri. I think him and Barry Odom got hired at the same time at these programs. It'll be interesting to see Kelly Bryant, the Clemson transfer, playing against South Carolina, a team which Clemson normally dominates, but he doesn't have the same talent around him when he's playing at Missouri.
Yeah, and you know, the South Carolina team is coming off a really tough battle against Alabama. They did get the points, they covered the game, but they didn't quit. But they certainly were undermanned in that contest. They have a freshman quarterback here, which I don't think is going to help against this Missouri team, and I'll get to that in a while. This is only his second career start. Though non-conference, while you said how great the South Carolina coaching is. They're 12-5-3 in conference games, the last 20 out there, and I'm sure the alumni are very happy about that. But let's take a look at this Missouri. They opened the season, Chelsa, with a loss at Wyoming as a 2-touchdown favorite. If not
Right,
more.
that was a big upset.
Big upset, and they had gained over 100 yards more than Wyoming. But what they weren't prepared for was Wyoming's running game, and Wyoming ran the ball down their throat. Since then, they've had two patsies. They played West Virginia, who was very, very weak, Southeast Missouri State. They won by a combined 88-7, and they've outgained Southwest Missouri last week 501 yards to 94. They're averaging 31 points a game in their last 8 games, Chelsa. This Missouri is a juggernaut. This was a slam, the door slammed in their face against Wyoming. Totally unexpected. Late field goal beats them there. They were really surprised there, and I think they've rallied the forces here. And I see them coming up big against a South Carolina team who's without their starting quarterback, and I think is pretty much adrift right now for the season.
I did not mention the line in this one. I don't know if you did or not. Missouri favored by 9.5.
9.5 is a strong number, and like you had mentioned, Musgrave has never lost to, or Muschamp has never lost to Missouri, and now he's that big of an underdog. It's sort of like last night when Tulane was favored for the first time in 24 years. I had to get back at you with it. Favored for the first time in 24 years, and they come up with a big point spread.
To be clear,
victory.
I did have Tulane, so I'm just saying that you can't base your stats off that game.
Well, it's not. Yes, we can. A winner's a winner because they have to play the full game. Tick-tock, it's over.
You're right, and I mean, that's smart strategy. If somebody's sleeping on you, you run a fake kneel, and then you get some yards, and then you win the game.
Well, it was certainly shocking to us on the sidelines watching this game, and it was a great pleasure to see Tulane get it done.
Yeah, if you have money on them.
And we did.
I will say Ryan Helinski was pretty impressive against a really good Alabama team. He was actually named SEC Freshman of the Week for his performance against Alabama, a losing effort. But here in the gambling world, they did cover for the South Carolina people. I took Alabama, another L for me.
Yeah, but see, you don't know if the rest of this club, he may be really psyched and ready, but I think overall the mindset of this Gamecock club after coming against Alabama, where they really showed, they played full bore 60 minutes. They may not have it inside them emotionally and the strength to actually compete here. I think they're in trouble.
Well, and they are on the road.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that counts for something. I will say Missouri sometimes is overlooked. I think that Wyoming loss, I wouldn't take it too heavily because it's the first game of the season, and these are college kids, and
you know,
they have looked better.
And they so outplayed Wyoming in that game. I mean, they outgained them by 100 yards, which equates to 10 points in the statistical realm, or at least 7. So the fact that they lost the game was shocking to them.
Well, yeah. Shocking to a lot of people.
Statistically as well. You know.
It's like, yeah, it was a big upset. Yeah, I mean, And this is an SEC East game for both of these teams, obviously, so these games are always meaningful. That's why it's hard for me for 9.5 points, because I think it's going to be a little bit closer of a game.
It could always be, but Chelsa, be careful for that backdoor and the late cover, because
well, it works both
I
ways.
just think they're that much better. I think Missouri, if they didn't have that loss to Wyoming, people would be talking about them as a contender in the SEC, but we haven't heard anything about them.
Well, they're still getting 9.5 points, so somebody out there likes them.
Well, I think it's because they are good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the odds makers agree with you. I don't know. I'm just, after I took Alabama against South Carolina, I guess that was a big spread for Alabama to cover.
It was huge.
I would like to see if Alabama covers this week. I think it's like 39.
One thing we've always learned in this industry is that when you've been very, very impressed with one team, or you've been very unimpressed with another team, usually they're not as bad as you've seen them the following week.
Right.
And they're not
You
as
can't
good.
overreact.
Right.
And every game is a new game. It's kind of like roulette. You can't be like, well, it's not going to hit 7 again. Sometimes it does.
Right, and they sort of come together before it's all over, too.
All right, good stuff with Chip. We're back after the break with NFL Rapid Fire on Picks and Parlays Radio.
Discount travel sites say they have the best prices, but Hilton.com has the price match guarantee. Look me in the eye. If you find a better rate, they match it and take 25% off. Yeah, well, this is radio, so just stare at the radio. Hilton.com has the best prices. Pinky swear. Or, radio swear. Plus, you can choose your exact room and get free Wi-Fi. Cross my heart, stick a needle in my radio. Expect better. Expect Hilton.
Must be a Hilton Honors member. Applicable terms and conditions at Hilton.com. Pinky swear.
Attention to anyone that's written a book or wants to write a book. The process is not that complicated. Take a first step. Even if you write a page a day, you'll build momentum and your book will become a reality. The hard part is getting it published. That's when you need to call Page Publishing. They've got hundreds and hundreds of thank yous from different new authors, just like you. They make the process of publishing your new book and getting it sold online a simple process. You can learn how simple it is right now by calling for your free Page Publishing New Author Submission Kit. One quick 3-minute phone call, that's all it takes to get free information and learn how you can get your book published. Pick up your phone right now and call us 24 hours a day at this number. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. That's 800-603-0885.
Money Now 100 is not a lender, broker, or agent of any lender or financial advisor. We do not make loans or credit decisions. You must be 18 years or older and a U.S. resident to qualify. This is not an offer or solicitation to lend. I went to MoneyNow100.com and got the $5,000 I needed deposited in my account the next business day. If you need money for any reason, help is here. Go to MoneyNow100.com and get the money you need. Need to pay off credit card debt? Go to MoneyNow100.com. Need your car repaired? Need home improvement money? Visit MoneyNow100.com. If you need fast cash for any reason, go to MoneyNow100.com. Good, bad, or no credit at all. Go to MoneyNow100.com. You could get up to $5,000 as soon as the next business day. Go to MoneyNow100.com on your phone, tablet, or computer. Type in the address bar MoneyNow100.com. That's MoneyNow100.com.
Got an iPod? Into podcasting? Now you can get podcasts of all your favorite Sports Byline shows delivered right to your computer automatically, so you can listen when and where you want, as many times as you want, on your PC or on your iPod. Never miss your favorite show. Just go to sportsbyline.com and click on the Get Podcast button next to your favorite shows. Visit sportsbyline.com today.
Welcome back to Picks and Parlays Radio here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, where we stream the show live every weekday, 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern. I am your host, Chelsa Messinger. You can find me on Twitter at Chelsa Messinger is my handle. If you want to send a comment or a meme or something relating to Area 51, I'm a big fan of those memes, especially as today being September 20th. Hello, gentlemen. We've got Craig Trapp and Tony T joining us for some NFL rapid fire picks, and let's get right to it. Skipping the pleasantries because we've got a lot of games to cover. Let's start with the Lions and the Eagles. The Eagles are favored in this one, -6. Total sits at 45.5. Tony T, where are you leaning?
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning here on the Detroit Lions at +6. I think it's really tough to back the Eagles. 31st pass defense in the league right now, giving up 340 yards, 65% completion rate. And also, even if the Lions get behind, you got the king of the garbage touchdowns, and Matthew Stafford just seems to pad his stats a lot in garbage time. So the back door will be open there for the Lions as well. They are moving the football through the air, 301 yards a game, 65% completion rate. And remember, they've covered 4 of 5 against Philadelphia. Eagles slow start. September continues, 0-5 of the spread. And of course, Eagles dealing with injuries at wide receiver and Jackson and Jeffrey. Lions sit 4th defensively in the red zone. Remember, Detroit really drafted heavily on defense, and I think the Detroit Lions get the money in this one.
Right. Matt Patricia is definitely a defensive guy, a Belichick disciple. And the Eagles have had trouble covering some of these games where they've been favored by a lot. Craig, thoughts on this one?
Well, Philly obviously was a tough luck loser last week, had it 4th and long and gave up the touchdown. Julio Jones, nice play to get the touchdown on the screenplay. But I think if the Eagles would have won that one, imagine what this line probably would be at. I think the line overreacted with, of course, Jackson and Jeffries injured. I like Philly here to bounce back. I think they looked terrible their opening game at home, still almost covered that game, and then let last game get away. I think the Eagles bounce back at home. I think the Eagles -6 to play. I also think the over here at 45.5, like Tony said, this Eagles deep pass defense hasn't been very good. I could see a lot of points in this one.
All right, Panthers, Cardinals. The Cardinals are favored by 2 now. Total sits at 44.5. Of course, the news today being Cam Newton is out for this game, which means Kyle Allen, the former Texas A&M quarterback, will be starting for the Panthers. Tony, do you think this line has moved in the correct direction?
Well, I'd have to say so. I like Arizona here at -2. I don't think the opening line was good anyway, even with Cam playing. I think Arizona is showing me a little something here at -2. Total 44.5. Kyle Allen comes in. He did face the Saints last year in a Week 17 game. Remember, New Orleans had nothing to play for there, and Allen did not really look very good in the preseason. But let's face it, Carolina is now on tape. Defensive coordinators is seeing that there isn't many playmakers for this team. They're stacking the line to contain Christian McCaffrey. Of course, tight end Greg Olsen dealing with the back injury. He's questionable, but the Cardinals showed a level of competitiveness. They tied Detroit. They go and get the cover at Baltimore. Everyone thought Arizona was go over there and play dead at Baltimore. They did, and they held their own. And let's face it, Arizona is throwing for 300 yards a game in their first 2 games this season. I'm going to take Arizona in this one.
Right. As you mentioned, the Panthers didn't look good despite having Cam Newton. They didn't look great with Cam Newton being the quarterback. And as you also mentioned, when you don't have the threat of the deep ball or a quarterback that can actually make some connections, Christian McCaffrey is almost canceled, and he's the biggest part of their offense. So that's a problem for the Panthers offense. Craig, thoughts on this one?
Well, I'm going to go against Tony again on this one. I like the Panthers here. I like actually all the backup quarterbacks, all 3 of them starting this week. So that's kind of a see what's going to be coming up here. But I like the Carolina Panthers. I can't lay points with Arizona. I just didn't think they were going to be very good for the season. They're actually playing a little better than I thought. But I still think the Carolina Panthers have the better defense. I think Cam Newton missed several open players the last few games. And if he hits those plays, I think this team probably be 2-0. I think Kyle Allen can make those plays. He doesn't have the big arm, but I think he'll make the wide open plays. I like Carolina to win outright here, but we'll take the points just in case at +2.
I think that's the question for a lot of Panthers fans. Is Kyle Allen an upgrade over what we saw in Cam Newton the week before? I know he was hurt, but the problem is when they have those 4th and 1 or 4th and goal plays and Cam Newton, who is known for going over the top and scoring those touchdowns, you don't even use him on those plays. So that worries me on that front. But Kyle Allen, you know what? He might be an upgrade over a hurt Cam Newton. Let's move on to the New York Giants and the Bucks. The Bucks favored in this one, -6. Total sits at 48. Tony T, how you feeling on this one?
Yeah, I'm going to take the points here with the Giants +6. Just not ready to lay -6 with Jameis Winston at quarterback. Here's the issue I have. I don't like teams that have a lot of negative yardage. You know, Tampa Bay, their first 2 games, 20 penalties, 153 yards. Winston has taken 6 sacks this year as the Buccaneers offense only generating 292 yards a game, 18 points a contest. The run game isn't going. We saw them beat a Carolina team with only 1 weapon on the field. You know, let's face it, New York drew 2 strong defensive teams to open the season. Buffalo's, we know, is defending well. Dallas is a really good defensive team. A little step down in class here for New York. You know, we know Daniel Jones gets a start. He'll have his top target, Sterling Shepard, back. He's cleared to play. And the Giants are moving the football a little bit. Buccaneers have been good in the red zone, 29th in the league, bottom quartile in the league on third down. Let's take the points here with the Giants +6.
I will say Jameis Winston did look a lot better against the Panthers. I think they didn't have a whole lot of faith in him, and they didn't put a whole lot on his plate, but he looked like he was making better decisions, at least compared to his other games. Craig, thoughts on this one?
Well, I like this Tampa Bay defense this year. I haven't liked the offense, like Tony said. It seems like they have 3 good plays and 2 bad plays. So it's like a lot of just considering that Jameis Winston was obviously the #1 draft pick. You would think he would learn by now, but he just throws really bad decision-making, throws a lot of interceptions. I think this one spells the under. I think the under 48, I think Daniel Jones will be a little bit of an upgrade for the Giants, but not enough, I don't think, against a pretty good Tampa Bay Bucs defense that puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback. I like the under 48 in this matchup.
Okay, let's go to the Texans and the Chargers. The Chargers are favored by 3. Total sits at 48.5. Tony, are either of those numbers looking right for the picking?
I'm looking here at the Houston Texans at +3. You know, LA, as usual, dealing with another injury issue. It seems like every year the Chargers just injuries. Adrian Phillips, their safety, out with the forearm injury. They're also without their main target, one of the main targets in the passing game, Hunter Henry. And then, of course, Keenan Allen has missed practice with his knee injury. He's been limited. And, of course, there's a cluster of injuries to their defense. And you have to ask yourself, what would happen if the Colts had won that toss in week 1? Chargers could be looking here at an 0-2 record, remember, because that defense really looked worn out at the end of the game. A lot of mistakes last week in their loss against the Lions. Of course, the Texans really played a really good physical game against the Jaguars, get the win 13-12, defended that 2-point conversion. And I do like the quarterback in Watson and the defense here. I'm going to look here to take the points here with the Texans.
All right, Craig, I know you really like this game. You're talking to me. I think you have a promo on this one.
Yeah, this is my top play of the week for NFL Week 3. I really like this one, so get in on it over at picksandparlays.net. Actually, you can use the promo code. We have a promo code this weekend. Use that 15% off promo code BLUE, BLUE, get you 15% off this play or my packages or even Tony's packages, any of our experts over at picksandparlays.net.
Big fan of the primary colors.
Yeah.
Craig only likes like red, blue, green. You need to put in like magenta or something one week. Okay, let's move on. I'll stick to the subject. We're on to the Steelers and the 49ers, where San Francisco is favored -6.5, total at 43.5. Tony, do you think the Steelers look any better in this one?
I'm going to take them in this game. Steelers +6.5. Looks like a little bit of an overreaction to Roethlisberger's injury. Of course, that Mason Rudolph gets to start. Remember, Rudolph won one of the most heated battles in the preseason for that backup position against Joshua Dobbs. He did put up good numbers in relief last week. Now gets to rest with the first string in practice. Look for the run game, James Conner, Benny Snell and company to help Rudolph out a little bit. Let's face it, the Steelers had a tough schedule to begin the year. Patriots and Seahawks. 49ers, while they started at Cincinnati and Tampa Bay, they did benefit by many Bucs mistakes and faced a really bad Bengals team last week. So it's a big step up in class here in this one. And one thing to note is the 49ers do lose their starting left tackle in Staley. And their defense on third down, ranking 26 in the league. I believe Pittsburgh generates just enough offense to cover this number.
It seems like the Pittsburgh locker room is really trying to get out the PR on Mason Rudolph. It seems like all those guys are really singing his praises. And critical me is like, well, of course, they're not going to say he's bad, and they're trying to hype him up. But you wonder if they are really that confident around him. Craig, Are you confident in the Steelers offense enough to take them?
I like them. I think this is one of the upsets this week. At the worst, I think we get the cover here with the 6.5 points. Maybe even if you wait till game time, you get this at 7. I like the Steelers with Mason Rudolph. I think the one knock on Big Ben has always been he kind of locks in on one receiver sometimes. A lot of times, of course, it was AB last year with the AB news coming out today with him being cut by the Patriots. I wonder if Steelers get back in the AB game. But either way, I think the Steelers – I think they'll spread the ball around. I think they'll run the ball with Connor. I think this is a upset this week, but let's take the points just in case, get the 6.5 with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'm not going to lie. I don't see AB going back to the Steelers.
No, I don't either. I don't either.
I wonder who picks him up, though. It'll be interesting to see, or if it's worse than some of those allegations have, surfaced, because I would think it'd have to be a lot for the Patriots to cut him.
Yep.
All right, we've got some more games to get to. Let's get to the Saints and the Seahawks. Seahawks -4, total at 44.5. Tony.
Yeah, I'm going to go here under a total of 44.5 or 45 shot because the line is moving around in different spots. As we know, the Saints offense just not the same on the road. Of course, they're staying out west in Seattle, which is a very difficult place to play. And of course, now Teddy Bridgewater, remember, he hasn't been a starter for some years. Now he has to deal with the crowd noise and the distraction there in Seattle. So that's another hurdle for him to handle here. Of course, the Saints will look to Bridgewater as they lose Brees for 6 weeks. I remember back in his days with the Vikings, he never got his starting job back, and he was pretty much one of those dink and dunk passes. Really didn't have an accuracy downfield. Of course, we saw the Saints held to 9 points last week. The Seahawks did catch a break with Big Ben going down in their game last week, but you have to worry about penalties. With these running teams, they're calling holding a lot more. In 2 games, the Seahawks have been flagged 18 times for 148 yards, so you got to worry about negative yardage there with Seattle down in distance coming into play here on 3rd down. Of course, the Saints have struggled in the red zone. And, of course, Seahawks defensively are getting off the field on 3rd down and doing a good job in the red zone. They seem to do that all the time with Carroll. So we're going under in this game.
All right, we got to move to the hurry-up offense. Craig, what's your thoughts on this one?
Well, I actually think the key to this one is Taysom Hill. I think he'll get a lot more action. I like the Saints and the points here. I think this could be an upset as well. Like I said, I like all the backup quarterbacks this week.
All right, 30 seconds. Rams-Browns. Rams favored by 3. Total 47.5. Tony.
This is my top player from the NFL. Check it out at picksandparlays.net for my Rams and Browns play, as well as my NFL packages specials expiring this weekend.
All right, Craig.
For this one, 47.5. I think a lot of points here, and I think the Rams bounce back after struggling a little bit last week, and I think the Browns put up a bunch as well.
All right, those are NFL picks. Thanks, guys, for joining us. We're back after the break on Picks and Parlays Radio.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. They want your money, and guess what? They can legally take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you. So what do? Fight back by letting our team of experts at the tax helpline work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws and will fight to save your money. So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket.
800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. That's 800-932-1749.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
Welcome back to Picks and Parlays Radio here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. I am your host, Chelsa Messinger. You can find me here every day, 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern, and also on Twitter at Chelsa Messinger. Check us out on all of our social media platforms and give us some feedback. If you search Picks and Parlays, we're really easy to find on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And we also stream the show live every weekday if you want to tune in that way. We had a busy show today with a lot of picks and a lot of stuff to get to. So right now we're going to recap all of our picks from the show in case you weren't listening or if you weren't paying attention. Starting with baseball from Sean Higgs. Blue Jays Yankees taking the Blue Jays plus 155. Red Sox at Rays taking the over 8.5. And then Sean Higgs gave us a nice little Monday Night Football prediction. Bears at Redskins taking the under at 41. Moving on to Chip Chirimus and his college football picks. FIU, Louisiana Tech. I believe that's the game tonight. Louisiana Tech is who Chip's taking minus 6.5. South Carolina, Missouri taking Missouri minus 9.5. And Nebraska at the Fighting Illini. Illinois taking the over at 62. And finally, our NFL rapid fire picks starting with Craig Trapp. Lions at Eagles taking the Eagles minus 6. Giants at Bucks taking the under 48. Rams at Browns take the over 47.5. And here is what Tony T gave us for his NFL picks. Texans at Chargers taking the Texans plus 3. Steelers 49ers taking the Steelers plus 6.5. And the Saints and the Seahawks taking the under at 45. A lot of picks, and I'm out of breath just from reading them. So not quite in game shape, even though I should be. It was a great show. We hope you join us next week when we are back here, same time, same place, on Monday, 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern. And check us out on picksandparlays.net for all of your sports betting needs. We'll see you on Monday on Picks and Parlays Radio. Bet, win, repeat. See you Monday.